Hello, my name is Karina and this is my perfume map. Today I'm going to talk about perfumes to make you smell like a 1970s mom. So most of these perfumes came out in the 70s. I have a few that came out earlier, and then I have three kind of bonus picks that I think a 70s mom would wear, but they came out like much earlier than 1970s. Anyway, so I was thinking a lot about being a mom because it's back to school time where we live. I think school starts way too early, but that's not up to me. But I have like this certain kind of feeling, I guess, when I go into a school, and it's that I feel like I'm kind of an old school mom. I mean, one, I feel like for the Midwest, maybe I'm like a little bit older than a lot of moms. And then I just like to think about what it was like for like my mom when I was a kid in school. And I think like as I get older, I have an appreciation for the women who came before me, you know, like no matter what, like I thought at the time, you just kind of grow an appreciation over time. I think like that's not uncommon to do. Like you just kind of look at the things like your mom did and what she was like, and you kind of compare it to what things are like now. And I think that I kind of think of myself as kind of more of like an old school mom. Maybe I'm a little bit, I don't know, like I want my kids to be free thinkers. I definitely want them to explore things that interest them. I don't really think that I have to be like a super helicopter parent. I just, I don't know. I mean, I guess we pick and choose things over the ages. But anyway, so I was just thinking of like a 70s mom and some of the perfumes that I probably grew up smelling, and then now I have a bunch of them in my collection. So we'll just go through them. The first one I want to share is Anaïs Anais, and this is by Cacharel. Came out in 1978, and I think what I have here is a vintage bottle. This very opaque top. I got this in a lot at Shop Goodwill, and it was sealed. But yeah, on here it says Cosmere, and I think this is an older bottle. I'm not sure exactly when this one came out, but the ones that I see now have like kind of a translucent top. And this is the EDT. And this fragrance is kind of one of those kitchen sink florals. When it dries down, I get like a lot of oak moss. I also feel like this fragrance in particular is probably one that people who say they don't like florals, like this might be kind of what they're talking about, because this has like a very like just every kind of floral, and then a lot of oak moss, which does make it smell pretty dated, but it's still really pretty. And the dry down is very smooth and creamy and floral and slightly sweet, with just that earthy oak moss, you know, on the edges. I haven't worn this one a whole lot. It hasn't been in my collection that long, and I didn't wear this like in my past or anything, but as soon as I spray it, I'm like, oh, that smells really familiar. I just feel like there was probably a lot of women around me who did wear this. Maybe school teacher. It kind of smells like a school teacher-y scent. Do school teachers still wear perfume? I don't know. I feel like when I was a kid, like they all did, and some of them wore a lot. And then of course we can't talk about the 70s without Charlie. To me, it's just like the ultimate, like Charlie's Angels even perfume. It just seems like feathered hair and cigarettes and high-waisted tight bell bottoms. But it's so good. I got super hyped when I realized I had this big bottle of Charlie in my last lot. There's something about Charlie. Ooh, I think that might have even been a tagline of the perfume, but it's true. It's like, it's really dry and sweet at the same time. Like you can focus on whatever you want. You can focus on like the heavy oak moss or the really sweet flowers. And there's a lot of carnation. It's just spicy, sweet, clean, fresh, earthy. it's a gorgeous perfume, and I don't think this smells dated, even though it also smells like the 70s. I feel like somebody could put something like this out now and it would smell really modern. But like definitely like Farrah Fawcett hair going on with Ciara. I mean, Charlie. I'm about to talk about Ciara. Ciara, another one by Revlon. Charlie's by Revlon. This is like definitely like if the woman who wore Charlie went out at night, she might wear Ciara. Ciara definitely smells like a nighttime, maybe a jazz club, maybe there's some cigarettes. There's definitely like a satin dress. Even though I think this smells classy now, because there's no like trashy talk. You know, sometimes when I think of like the modern way of communicating, like that's the one thing that maybe could use an improvement. I just feel like people are pretty quick to like get really rude in public, whereas like in the past that would be pretty exciting to see somebody actually like being super rude in public. Anyway, Ciara has a little bit of that like sultry nighttime, still oak moss, very incensey. It's a lot like Ballet Versailles, but it has like a raspberry note. It's very beautiful. It came out in 1973, and definitely some 70s moms were rocking that. And then there, of course, is Opium, probably one of the most famous Orientals. People don't really call them that anymore. They might call them like spicy ambers or something like that. So I don't really have any feelings about using the word Oriental. I always understood that like you could use Oriental for objects but not people, and that was the issue. Like you wouldn't call a person that, you would call maybe a rug that, and I guess like the problem with Opium was that it was like what do they call that when you like fetishizing like a culture. So they still make Opium. I just think like people don't call it an Oriental anymore, and there's probably plenty of good reasons. I'm just telling you that like I'm not an expert on like cultural appropriation or things like that. I don't ever want to be offensive to anybody, so if somebody says it's offensive, like I don't have to say it. But this is such a good fragrance. I think that Opium almost gives off the vibe like it's gonna be really hard to wear, or you're gonna have to be like really into fragrance to wear this. But I don't feel that way. It's really like a smooth amber with spices. There's like this very particular kind of sweetness. This is more of like the 70s mom who maybe wore a caftan and like maybe wanted to have a beach house. She still smokes cigarettes though. Big plastic pearl beads. I'm kind of imagining something somewhere between like Farrah Fawcett and Mrs. Roper. Maybe Mrs. Roper's style with Farrah Fawcett hair. Really good, kind of like a more mysterious fragrance. You know, it's not hard for me to do this video because I had all these fragrances. Like I just have all the 70s mom fragrances. And I think maybe that's because these are like what my childhood sort of smelled like. It wasn't my mom. It was just like all the other women who were around. This is White Linen by Estée Lauder, and this is a vintage bottle, and I've really been enjoying trying this one out. Oh my gosh, this one does something to me. It's like, it just smells like, this is the mom who totally has it together. This mom doesn't smoke. This mom is like moving towards the 80s. Like this mom is like all about capitalism. This mom has her stuff together. This mom like came from money. She still has money. Her kids have like really nice clothes. This was the mom that I thought, oh, I'm gonna be like that kind of mom. I don't think I really am, but I do love this fragrance, and it's so recognizable. If you can get one of these vintage smaller bottles, they're worth seeking out because there is something in there that's different, but the new bottles still smell really, really good. So the White Linen Mom from 1978, she had it going on. The next one is Lauren. And I just rewatched the movie Valley Girl because I wanted to show my kids. I have like that DVD. And I noticed there was a bottle of Lauren on the like stepmom. There's a scene where like they're in the one of the girls' stepmom's bedroom, and you could see this sitting on the dresser, and I'd never noticed that before. So this is Lauren. This came out in 1978. This is definitely like kind of along the lines of White Linen, but I feel like this one's more youthful. This is kind of more of like a new mom in the 70s. Maybe your kids aren't in school yet. Really green, like a green floral. Smells like the good life. Smells like you go sailing. Smells like you ride horses. It's just really classy. This one goes for big money on like eBay auctions and stuff. But if you ever see it at a garage sale or something, I would snatch it up. And then the next one I have is Avon Candid. This one actually came out in 1968. And I think they might have changed the notes a little bit because this one here is not really sandalwoody to me. I mean, it might have some sandalwood. Oh, but it's more like a soapy clean patchouli. This is really good. If you have never tried an Avon fragrance and you like kind of like patchouli, incensey, if you like, I'm trying to think of a modern comparison, maybe like a, who's making like really earthy modern fragrances? I don't even know. I was gonna say Tom Ford Purple Patchouli, but I've actually never smelled that one. I've only smelled dupes. This anyway, it just smells like Tide detergent with patchouli. That's what I get. It smells so good. I always feel happy when I choose to wear this one. It seems to go really well in any situation. If you don't go too heavy, you just smell clean and classy. Avon, I mean, you can't even talk about the 70s without talking about Avon, right? Ding dong, the Avon lady. My mom was an Avon lady for like 5 seconds. I was excited about it because she got like this kit of like all these tiny little lipsticks. There was like probably like 30 tiny little lipsticks, and like when she called it quits, she gave them to me. And I remember that. All right. The next one I have is, I always say Jovan Musk, could be Jovan, could be Jovan, but I mean this, like, I know, I remember the lady across the street who I used to babysit for, she wore this. But this is the OG Your Skin But Better, but this one has aldehydes, which makes it just like brighter, like kind of like exciting and clean. It's like a soapy clean musk, but it still has that like smooth, it's not like a biting musk. It has like this smooth, creamy, beautiful, musky skin scent. And I mean, I don't know, it's so good. And this mixes actually really well with Bath and Body Works lotions. Like if you have any Bath and Body Works lotion, you can wear this with it, and this just kind of like elevates it to a more perfumey scent, so you don't just smell like a piece of cake or something. Really, really good with Bath and Body Works. And definitely, just definitely like a 70s mom. And then I have one more of like for the 70s party mom. This is the house where you'd want to go if you're going to sneak out at night, because this mom is not going to notice. She's the black sheep of the family, but she smells super good. Kind of like Charlie, but more green. Like a green, this is like an old school chypre. It smells like disco dancing. It smells like partying, but it's so good. It's such a good fragrance, and they don't make fragrances like this anymore. These kind of bitter green, but also a lot of sweet florals, amber. So pretty. Just like, yeah. This is like 70s mom with a past. Maybe a present. And then what we have is some other perfumes, especially like White Shoulders. My mom actually did wear this, so a couple of these my mom wore. White Shoulders came out in 1945. I love this fragrance. This always reminds me of a picnic. There's some kind of hay like smell in there, and I don't know if that's the oak moss or the civet, but there's like a barnyardy smell, but it smells fresh. It's like a barn and a field of flowers and like a gingham dress. This is something like a 70s mom maybe started wearing in childhood and just never gave it up because it's so good. And the bottle's kind of looks like a 70s lady, even though it came out in the 40s. But really pretty perfume, aldehydes, civet, oak moss, flowers. Really cheap too, like 11 bucks for that big bottle. Really worth checking out. And then I have oh, you know what? I forgot to talk about one. Well, we'll just have to go out of order. So this is Houbigant by Chantilly. This also came out in 1941. White Shoulders came out in 1945. I might have confused those. 1945 for the White Shoulders, and this is 1941. This has one of these sprayers. Watch this. You like spray paint with it. So this is very much Shalimar. A little bit lighter. Emerald too, smells like emerald. A nice vanilla, a citrus vanilla that's somehow not sweet. Dry. Oak moss. Pretty. Really nice. This is a good fragrance and you can still get it. You can get a modern bottle, but it's now by Dana. This is Chantilly by Houbigant. So the one I forgot is this cool bottle of Avon Charisma. Came out in 1968. Look at this bottle. Isn't this cool? It's a little pear. I feel like if Killian came out with like Angel Share pear or something and put it in this bottle, like people would go kind of wild for it, don't you think? It kind of gives me that same vibe. But this fragrance, Charisma, came out in 1968, and it is compared, oh, it's the same thing. It's very like, look at this. It's called a cologne mist. This is compared to L'Exclusive de Chanel number 22. This is really pretty. I have it on my skin actually. Super clean, fresh, powdery, green, aldehydes. You can find these really cheap online or at garage sales, and this came in like a bunch of different bottles. Like I kind of like this pear one though. I have another one that was like a dabber bottle, and it was kind of like a bell, I think. But I think this pear is super cute. I'll put it so you can see it. Okay. And then the last 70s mom perfume I have, definitely didn't come out in the 70s. It came out in 1921, and it is Chanel number 5. And of course, told you before, my mom wore Chanel number 5, and a lot of moms in the 70s wore Chanel number 5. There's probably less people wearing it now than ever before. And what a gorgeous vanilla perfume. This is, people always talk about how soapy it is, and it is. When you first spray it, you get those aldehydes and the oak moss. But the dry down is a really good vanilla. And I think that Chanel is using a good vanilla. Like probably a real vanilla in this old one. And it has just that super gourmand, actually, like vanilla incense fragrance that just like wafts off of you for hours. This, the EDP, at least this older bottle, I'm not sure exactly when this one came out. I bought this used. This lasts forever. And I have worn this out and then gotten like a whiff of like this vanilla blast and thought like, ooh, what is that? And then realized that's me. I mean, it's that kind of perfume. Classy. A lot of people kind of like say they don't like Chanel number 5. I'm always like blown away by that because it's such a good fragrance. You can't judge it by like first blast. I've said it so many times, but I think like the biggest change in modern perfumery is they've done this thing where they make it smell actually like the best right when it comes out of the bottle. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. The dry down on the older perfumes is what you have to wait for. And this Chanel No. 5 is mind-blowing. Just imagine like the deepest, darkest vanilla ever with some aldehydes, some white florals, some oak moss. It smells natural, it smells good, it smells womanly, it smells like powdery lingerie, but also very, very classy. So anyway, this is my 70s mom wardrobe. What kind of mom are you? Are you a 70s mom archetype? Are you more of like all in with modern momhood? Are you a mom at all? Are you a cat mom? Are you a dad? I just think that I'm probably, you know, a little bit of everything. My kids are Gen Z. I'm Gen X. My mom was the 70s mom, right? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope that you are experiencing better weather than we are. It has been like raining and gray all day. And I'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe.